You know what? This Underground Railroad stuff that these people that came over the border illegally is using, comparing themselves to black slaves, to my ancestors that suffered very, very hard. You know, it explains everything why Mexicans are so jealous, really, of black people here in America, because we're caressed compared to them. And they will never have that respect because they came here illegally. They were not brought here. They were not asked to come here. But yet and still they like the blacks more. Or like I went to the store and Rouse, I go to the grocery store and the Mexicans are acting real funny. You know why? Because I can buy groceries. If they start cutting off welfare, they're not going to be able to do nothing. Their livelihood will be gone and they will leave here on their own. You don't have to chase them down or ICE. ICE is for the criminals. The other people, I mean, if you're hardworking, you work 3 jobs and this, that, and the other, you never can compare yourself to my ancestors. Ever. If you ever do that in my face, they are starting to underground railroad, and people are taking them in their homes. I hope the federal government causes you grief, those that take these people in. These people crossed the border illegally, and now is payday. There is nothing underground railroad about that. If you're talking about my ancestors, comparing yourself, let me say I've been generous by 14th Amendment about these anchor babies and telling you the story of in the 1800s of the Chinese family that was pardoned, probably brought here from their country. They had a baby. The baby goes away to school. The baby comes back. The parents are gone, and through the courts, he is an American because his parents were pardoned and brought here. The same, but the real tee is that the 14th Amendment was meant for the black slaves. Their children are American. And again, the word pardon, brought here. We were brought here. I've told the story of Toussaint and Napoleon all the time because I compare it to Obama. I say Toussaint is like Obama to me. But those slaves in 1791, a Haiti revolution, were stolen Africans. We're from Africa, and Africa was nothing like it is now. It was beautiful, full of everything that we needed, minerals, our families, everything were there, and the stolen African was stolen from their families, put on slave ships and brought here. In other words, you are out of order comparing yourself to any of those people coming across this border to anybody black slaves of my ancestors. You are out of order. Now you're getting ready to start a new war. Because I feel it would be my duty to defend my ancestors and their memory. And we don't want to be compared to what you have done illegally to the black slaves. That is out of order and is going to stop. Underground Railroad, you need to call it illegally. Over here need some help. You're illegal. You cross the borders. And those children that you're seeing separated from the families, are you kidding? When their parents are done with their court and they are told to go back to Mexico, they will bring those children back to those parents. And they leave with them. No more anchor babies. They haven't brought it up yet, but there's not going to be no more of that. That's a lot of money that you made off of America. Because civil rights don't apply to you. That was for, again, black people. So I can see where you might have a thing against us and look at us, and black people don't realize that. But they look down, look at us up and down, especially here in California. Up and down, as if they're better than we are. And we don't, these black people don't say nothing. I do. I do, because you're not going to just treat me just any kind of way. But you also are not going to treat my ancestors any kind of way through the things that they have been through. You know, claim your wrongdoing. Coming across that border is illegal. Now it's time for you to pay. And yes, the black people will still be here, considered getting civil rights and crying civil rights all the time. You know, yes, black people will still be here. And all of their children are legal. And so black people, when Mexicans act stupid, that's why they acting stupid. Because they can't be like you. You don't see that. Only thing you see, let's fight, blah, blah, why, blah, blah, blah. That's all you want to see. But these people are beneath you. Stealing, crossing the border, stealing, using social security numbers. All that stuff is disgustingly illegal. And it's just time. I'm saying it over and over. You are not, should not be using Underground Railroad or compare. I've heard one say Harriet Tubman. She is one of the women that I truly respect. And not one Mexican has not one characteristic or mentally or nothing on Harriet Tubman. Nothing. Nothing you're doing compares to us. It's time for you to pay up. You did wrong. Now you got to pay it up. That's my blog for today. I'm really angry. When I heard it on the news, Underground Railroad. Oh, no, they didn't. Civil rights. And the 14th Amendment, having babies and expecting for the babies to be citizens, and they're not. And Congress has never even said that. And black people are. So when you have some problems with anybody that crossed that border and you're black, don't say nothing to them, because they're going to pay for what they did. They don't belong here. Now, they did their little cheap labor, and cheap labor on top of that. How could you compare that to a slave? We picked cotton all day long, didn't get a damn dime. All we did was get the pig guts to eat. And now they're called chitlins. All the junk. Beaten, lynched, raped, all of that kind of stuff. And you're saying we were raped at the border. It still does not compare to slavery. You had a choice. Bringing your little babies across the border that you're saying now we got to be separated. I would never bring my child across a damn border. I would never do that. In fact, I don't think there's many black people that would do that. And then complain about separating families. We had children, and our children right out of our bodies were taken away from us. And on the boat, they took our babies that we were already carrying and slammed their heads up against the board of a boat and splattered them all over. And you're talking about separating. Don't compare yourself to my ancestors. Cypress, golden bronze. Look at me good. Don't ever do that in my face. Y'all gonna start another war. Because I'm not the only one that feels this way. And I know you don't want to go there. Not about our ancestors. Get your own reason why you all are paying for what you're going through today. You did it. You brought your kids across the border. That is disgusting to even think about. I want a better life. No, we didn't do that. And Mr. Ben Carson, you were really, really wrong on that. To even you being an African American and saying that probably encouraged them to do this. And say this, and before you know it, they'll be compared to us, and they're not. They're damning the name of our ancestors. Now we're going to be set there. I want a better life. So you drag your kids across a border to come over here and steal and rob and all of that. Or work your 3 jobs with your fake social security numbers. When you take somebody's social security numbers, you are messing someone else up. So in other words, it's like, let me take what I want this so it's mine. We didn't do that. I think if you continue this thing, comparing yourself to the Underground Railroad and Harriet Tubman and everything, maybe you will find out what lynching really is. Because really, you defied the law of the United States of America. All these laws and taking you through court and all of that kind of stuff, they're doing you a favor. Because this is our country. And if we want you out, we can just take you, put your ass on a truck and take you out to the desert and drop you there. The whole family. Comparing yourself to my ancestors disgusts me. Do it again. Keep doing it. And you're going to give me a new subject. And don't you ever do it in my face. Cypress, golden bronze. Don't you ever do it. Don't test me. People that are on my timeline, if you're Mexican or whatever and you are another and you think that that is right, if you think you're bold enough to do that in my face, try me. It just angers me. Some people will go to church and pray about it. I bet you the people in the church, these black churches, are not going to take that off of you. There's a line. And when you start talking about the slaves and our ancestors and comparing yourself to them, that is, you have stepped over another border. I don't wish you people bad luck because we've had it worse. But when you are honorary and you take things that are not yours, well, let me take civil rights. Or well, let me take 14th Amendment. Now let's take the slave story. All because our children will be separated from us. Let me repeat myself. Some of my great-great-great-grandmother, great-great-great-grand was stolen from Africa, and she was having a baby. They would take it out of her and slam their heads on the boat. They would murder them. And you're talking about being separated for a couple of months. They need to stop doing that due process. They need to get over that. Take you and your kids and get out. Immediately. That's what they need to do. And you know what? United States government, I've never seen so much disrespect to this government, because when I was young, you would not do it. Trust me. And it's coming back to that time. And your country will have to deal with you on their own. Underground. That's disgusting. Ashe.